what I'm using are these cheap Chinese balancing boards. I think they work out about $80 each. Each one's got Wi-Fi. You can connect them in series, and the idea of that is that the last cell of the first string is overlapped by the first cell of the next string. Hopefully that'll become apparent as I do it. So it's a 24 cell board, so you don't end up doing 24 cells. Well, the first one does 24 cells, and the next one still is 24 cells, but it's actually in fact 23 cells, because you link or you connect to the same battery wires as the last board does, and that's how it works. So let's get cracking. All the battery pillars that stop the battery flapping up and down, and wiring all of the wires as per instructions to the cells. First one is negative, which is that one, and then the next one is cell 1 positive, which is there, and then you have another positive, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 as far as these wires are concerned, and that works. So I've done it once before, it all works, so yeah, happy days. So I've just got to sit down and do the monotony of putting connectors on and screwing them in place. So wish me luck. Oops, there's the next one. Right, oops. That's better. If you follow up the last wire very carefully, you do get to a point where you just have to say enough's enough and go and have a rest. Or I do anyway. Especially doing this late at night. It's So we used to have a gauge up here. That has now gone and been replaced with a standard panel. And then over here, get that out for you, just loosely in, is a wireless display unit from my battery gauge. If I can get in there and get it focus. So this is a gauge that is capable of doing 500 amps, 500 volts, and it's only 28 quid. So that's the display unit. I'm just running it off of a USB power brick thing, power jobby, and this is the guts of the gauge, as it were. The green connection down there, the green connection there is actually the voltage going into the unit so it can measure, and behind that there's a little white plug, I think it's JST type plug, and there's a jumper cable, there's a jumper just there. There's two positions to have it in. One way you power it through the green plug, you can go up to 80 volts. I didn't actually read that on the first one and blew one of these up. That's my stupid. Anyway, so you can go up to 80 volts on the white plug at the back. There is a problem, and that's the 0 volts are connected to both. Now, the problem with electric vehicles is all of the manufacturers go to great lengths to make sure that that never happens. You never connect the ground of your 12 volts to the ground of your main battery pack, for good reason. If you do that and the live comes in contact with any body or anything, you're going to have fireworks or death, potentially, or pain at least. So you don't do that, so you leave both wires totally and utterly isolated from the car, its chassis. They're a separate entity. The only place those wires go are up to the controller, DC to DC converter, and any other high voltage junction box, and distributed from there, but they're always kept separate. The 0 volts and the 0 volts, if you like, of the car, the body itself, are always separated, for good reason. Because if I was working on the battery pack and I hadn't taken steps to isolate everything, or for whatever reason it wasn't isolated, if I touched the body of the vehicle, which would be very easy to do, and I touched the most positive connection, doesn't matter what your battery voltage is, the most positive connection, that power will be running through you. And when you start getting up to hundreds of volts, or even anything over 48 volts, I would have thought that's a very bad idea. I'm running nearly 400 volts, so I don't want to be doing that. As you can see, I'm at 387 volts at the moment, and that's 81% of the battery, so I'm 390-ish volts when it's full. So this gauge is really good, but what I've had to do is run a separate battery powering the white plug. And that is brilliant because it separates the two. It's not brilliant because I have to keep charging up another battery, but I can live with that. On the other end of this cable there is a sensor that goes, can't remember the name, but a sensor that the cable runs through, and it measures the amperage, and it seems to be doing a very fine job out the box without any calibration. I think for use on, say, a power wall or something like that, a battery backup, battery generator type setup, not an engine generator but a battery that you use instead of a generator, would be fantastic for that. Or any sort of electric bike or anything else. Yeah, awesome. Banggood do this meter as well. This is one off eBay, 28 quid to the door. There is also the Banggood version, which is good because it has a temperature as well, and that's about 40 bucks, so it's not exactly expensive. Some of these gauges, like the original one I bought, this thing was hundreds of pounds and is hard to deal with. Doesn't seem to show power coming back in, so not very good. This gauge is actually very, very good in the respect of it shows power coming out as a negative symbol that you can see there, and positive as just without the negative.